Is it a cult? What is the actual hype? This is not a bit of me. Hey guys, I'm Orla from your Women's Gear Review channel, where we focus on the fit check and comfortability for the female body. I do see a lot of men out there reviewing the Goruck products, which is absolutely amazing, no hates. But with the CrossFit Games coming up and Goruck sponsoring the games, and when I'm watching the CrossFit Games, I'm mainly focusing on the women and their performance because they are absolutely killing it. So if these ladies are going to be wearing and training with the Goruck gear, then best believe I'm going to review it for those ladies wanting this kind of gear. Today we are reviewing the Goruck GR2. In this review, we have sectioned it off into summary, features, fit check and comfortability. We're going to see how it feels on the female body. We're going to do a wee Airline test here, see whether or not it fits as a personal item or if you need to use it as a carry-on. Then we're going to do a wee water test, run through some pros and cons, and then rounding up the video with some final thoughts. And of course, if there is anything that we have missed, then just pop us a wee comment below and we'll be sure to get back to you. Okay, let's get cracking on with the summary. Prior to sponsoring the CrossFit Games this year, Goruck has been a highly hyped brand based on their durable backpacks made and inspired by the military. So this is a brand that I have been eyeing up forever, and they've just never shipped to Europe or the UK. But listen up, ladies and gentlemen, they do now have a Europe store, which is Goruck EU. I really do feel that Goruck is a great fit for the CrossFit Games because a lot of the training and the kind of programming that goes into CrossFit is kind of generally a military based training, so it works really well hand in hand, and I am definitely a lover of CrossFit, so having these two combined. So as mentioned, Goruck was a brand built from a military background. Jason and Emily kicked off the brand, with Jason being in the Special Forces and Emily being the CIA. Their aim was to build equipment to endure life and death scenarios. So they have literally built backpacks and gear that can survive it all. So there definitely is a real controversy around the cult-like of CrossFit and even with the Goruck kind of community here. And I'm not here to review the community, I'm here to review the backpack. I'm not here to blow smoke up anyone's ass, and I'm going to give an honest review on the GR2 backpack. I love anything that enhances performance, is long lasting, and is ready to get fired in and endure any adventure. And this backpack I can absolutely appreciate, and the team over on Goruck have been nothing but lovely. And Goruck, I'm on the hunt to review your shoes. Okay, GR2, let's go. This is a 26 litre and the price is £395. A moment of silence. And you can also get it in the 34 litre and a 40 litre. Now, I'd be lying if I didn't nearly choke to death when I saw the price, but entering the reviewing world of backpacks, you really are making an investment, and it is great to be reviewing and looking through reviews and really deciding what backpack is right for you. You are going to have to make an investment into your backpack, because if you want something that is going to be long lasting, then those materials are going to be a bit more expensive. Therefore, the bag is going to be a bit more expensive. And I have to say, with this one, you are paying for the materials mainly. And the materials, as mentioned, they have built this for life and death scenarios, so you know that you're getting a top-notch backpack. But that doesn't take away from the fact that it is still pricey, and you want to know, is it worth it? Well, let's find out. It is made with 1000D couture, so you already know you're getting the top-notch material. It is a back panel here of 210D couture, and under the shoulder straps as well is 210D couture. And you have a dimensions of the 26 litre here at 12.5 inches in width by 18 inches in height by 7.25 inches in depth. And it is a weight of 3.9 pounds. Now, if you are looking to take this away and you're packing it up, I've packed it up for my everyday kind of carry, where I'm going to the gym and then I'm going off to work, and we'll get into that as well. You can of course pack it how you want, but I just want to give you a weight of if you're taking that away and how much you can pack it out, because this is packed to the full. I was literally struggling to close it there. So let me just give you a wee weight of what I have it at now. Oh, loads. About 7 kg. So as mentioned, they do have their Europe store. They only have one color in this, which is the black on the Europe store, and over on the US website, I believe they have a multitude of colors and patterns. So in terms of the shape and style, this is definitely very interesting. When I realized that Goruck was going to be sponsoring the CrossFit Games, I absolutely thought it was a perfect match completely. Now, as you can see, it's sitting here under a laptop, because if I don't have that laptop there, the arm thing just falls down and I don't want to be holding it up the whole time. So I've implemented this. I hope it's not distracting, but it just saves me from, oh no, I need to get it, saves me from playing about with it. But that's kind of giving you a bit of an idea here. So it does have a flat bottom. Now, when you're not packing out this front pocket, because of the weight distribution here, it's just rolling forward. Now, the bottom though, if you're not packing this out, is pretty flat, so you could find a bit of wiggle room to kind of have that flat bottom and appreciate that flat bottom. Now, the rest of the bag is the shape that it is. It is quite a boxy kind of style. It does have those military vibes to it, so you have your 1000 external loopholes that we'll get into in a minute. It is basic and to the point. It's not something I look at and go, sexy. But it is something that I look at and go, oh, you're gonna last forever. In terms of the padding here, you've got a well-structured back system. So when you're flattening it down, you don't have to worry about your laptop or anything that you have valuables in the back here. And also on the front, although it's not overly padded, the material is fantastic. So I would be aware of what you have on the front here. I mean, don't go banging it down, but it's durable enough that if it does fall forward, I feel safe having any kind of electronics or valuables in that front pocket. So Goruck do offer a Scores lifetime guarantee. They say on their website, if there is a defect in work craftsmanship or materials, or if you actually manage to wear their stuff out, Goruck will fix or replace. Now, this is something that is great, free of charge. You just have to get in touch and they will communicate with you, but they're confident enough that with their stuff, you're not going to have any issues, or even if you do, it will be a quick turnaround, and they have confidence in the fact that you won't be needing that, but it's there if you do. They do offer 30-day returns, and as mentioned, international shipping. Now they have EU stores, so I would definitely head over to their website and check it out. Links are below for both. I think it is worth noting that my kind of angle for this backpack is pretty much my everyday carry and an active lifestyle, and that's how I choose to pack it up. I can kind of show you what you can get it into in terms of clothes wise, because I do pack clothes into it. So if I go to the gym, I have shower stuff and then clothing and things, but you can well pack this out. This kind of gives you a rough idea on how I pack it out for everyday carry. Say you want to use it for the gym, then work, or if you are using it for travel, it just gives you a rough idea of how much you can actually fit into this. And I would encourage going over to our community section on the channel, and if there is something concerning with this bag that you want, say you want me to pack it up and you want to see images of it, how it is packed, and what maybe with packing cubes, or you want to see it with just clothing, or you want to see it with other items, I can take pictures and put them over there, or I can make a wee short for you. Okay, now it is time to get into the features. So in terms of branding, Goruck don't go out of their way to be like Goruck spread across the bag. Their design is what sets them apart. You do, however, have the Velcro strap pack. Can we just give Goruck a round of applause for actually giving you the sticker? Because a lot of brands just leave that blank, and I understand, because then you can purchase. You can also purchase more stickers over on their website. If you don't fancy this one, it just peels off. And then you can stick it on yourself. That's really annoying that I haven't got that in the precise place. But that is nice to know, and was such a nice touch to even just have this. I will be changing this out for my tricolor. Externally, you have 30 plus external lash points. Excessive, but here, sure, you can't complain that there isn't enough. If you need 30, you've got 30. If you need one, you've got one. They are all pretty tight, but you can place your carabiners around that there. There's some on the sides, both sides, and then some on the front as well. Some on the straps, and there is even more on the inside. It is kind of going with that military base medical pack style. I get it. It's just a lot. I think it's more aesthetics. Like, who is attaching 30 things onto their backpack? But it does come in handy, because the way I've packed this up, sometimes depending if I need an extra pair of shoes, which won't fit in right now the way I have them, I'll get a bag, because if I'm using my towel and the towel gets wet, then if I have that bag and I attach it onto the side of the backpack, put my shoes in there. Then when I get changed, use the shoes, put the towel in there, get my clothes out, and then put the towel in with the plastic bag in the backpack. Does that make sense? You do have one top handle here. Now my chubby ass fingers are struggling to get on in there, but this is quite thick. It just stays up. I wouldn't be holding that for long periods of time. That's just kind of to grab and go with instead of pulling on the straps as well. But this is really tough. No real padding to it, but no real complaints with it either. Okay, so your front pocket, we'll just move all of their laptop over. We have a diagonal front pocket here. Everything gets very tight when it is fully packed up. It's all very, but it means that everything is well suctioned in there, so I get it. But this front pocket is very tight when you're trying to get into it. It's quite awkward as well because of the way it is. One, it's diagonal, but also it's not like on the side. I would prefer a swing the bag around and have a side compartment to get it into. If I'm swinging this around, it's a bit to get everything out. I think also for those wanting to use this as an active, maybe a weighted pack, putting weights in that and going for a run, it might have been easier to have a side compartment. Say you're running but you needed something within the bag, you wanted to take your belongings with you because you're going for a cup of coffee after or something, then it would have been nice to have it on the side because this is just a bit awkward to get into. Then you could look at that, great for anti-theft because you've got your little tugger. The custom pillars here are amazing. All the zips are absolutely stunning. It's great. It can be a bit of a faff to try and close this with the whole material, but I'm weighing it up with the whole durability of this material, so I can't really complain about that. As you can see, here we are. It's tight. Now, the pocket doesn't run up here, so you're missing all this space. It runs from here till about here. And as you can see, just trying to get what I have in there out is a bit awkward. Now I have ID that I carry with me because I get ID'd for an energy drink that you have to be 16 and over. Say, look at my eyes a little bit longer, dear. You will see tiredness, years of tiredness. I'm not 16 or 15. Then I've decided to put my headphones in here, which I usually have on my head. But, oh my god, see? Like, I would just advise to be careful of what you have in here because it's a bit of a struggle. Maybe don't do that. Oh Lord, I think I'm gonna have to go into the body of the bag to actually get what I need out to kind of loosen it a bit. Give me a minute. I'll not be doing that again. As I mentioned, I usually have that on my head, so a bit of a fail by me. And then I have my wallet, purse, whatever you call it, in there. And this pocket runs to about there, which is grand. So that just shows you how tight that pocket can get, especially if you are packing out the bag. Obviously, the looser the bag is, then the less rigid that pocket becomes. It is just space in there, so it is handy to just chuck smaller items in there, such as your purse and phone and ID or whatever, and then you know they are well secured into that pocket. Okay, I'm just gonna leave those out for the minute because I can't actually bear to try and push them back in. So we're gonna go into the main pocket. You have these flaps around like fabric. Sometimes it can get caught, sometimes it doesn't, but it helps for the kind of weather resistant to protect your zips as well, and also for just hiding and keeping those little custom pillars in place. But you open up this bag, near enough a clamshell opening that you have, and interesting, it's a nice little setup. I have to say the pockets, especially on this side, aren't a bit of me, but on this side we do enjoy. So you've got a little bit of branding here, which it says built in the USA. Then again, custom pillars, they do love their thick custom pillars here. As mentioned, if I'm taking this to the gym, just got some body wash, got some dry shampoo because I don't want to wash my hair in there. A flannel, or if you call it a face cloth, that has plenty of space. It's just space, that's what it is. Nice bit of me. don't like too much organization, so this is definitely right up my alley. Then you have this bigger kind of mesh pocket here, which is nice enough. Now I have to say, be careful of what you have in that pocket that you're compressing down onto this pocket. I wouldn't be placing valuables in there because, as mentioned, once the bag gets pretty tight, you don't want to be forcing that down. So what I've opted, I usually have more in here, is snacks and food throughout the day, porridge, protein. If I have pre-workout, then I might have that in there as well. Then on this side is my clothes for the day. A pair of jeans, top, underwear, and a hoodie. And inside here then you've got another pocket that I don't use because I find that just bulks it up. But it's nice if you wanted some organization. Again, the pockets can get a bit tight, especially here if you are fully packing this bag up. The mesh is grand. It's really tough and durable, so that's what you kind of want. And then they've implemented this kind of pouch, which is like a wee tech pouch that you could use it for. I've opted to use it mainly for like a wash bag, which is nice, and that just sits up here. It kind of gives you a little bit of organization, and also from the top loading, if you wanted to get access to those pockets as well, then you have the range in doing that instead of opening the whole bag into a clamshell opening here, which is handy enough if you are traveling and you want to keep your liquids on top here. Then you can place it in there, and then it's easier to just grab and get out, and then the laptop compartment is in the back, so you're not having to faff about going into the main body of the bag. In here I've opted to place some deodorant, spray, and some moisturizer. And inside you do have 2 elastic mesh pockets. Sometimes I'll chuck my keys in there as well. Would we have needed a wee key lash? Or would that have taken it away from the whole rugged, active, adventurous kind of style? I don't know, maybe it would have been nice to have something. These are grand. There's not a lot of suction around them. So just be careful what you have in there. Again, the mesh is absolutely stunning, and it is just space. So it's just handy enough to have these kind of little bits of organization that I appreciate anyways. Not a fan of anything too overwhelming, so this is just perfect for me. Then we are moving on to the best part for me anyways, where my gym gear is. If you know, you know. Just want to show you, look at that flat bottom here, but then it kind of curves. So as you pack out this pocket, it becomes less of a flat base and more of a roll over and tumble over and never sit up straight. But anyways, the back pocket here again covered with the flap around, so just be careful how you open that. You might get a little bit frustrated, but we move. Then some more mesh. I don't opt to use this unless it is for more food or snacks or slimmer items. It's handy enough if you have chargers, you can place them in there as well. That would be nice. You've got 2, one at the top and then one that goes onto the side as well. If you have and are packing this up and you want to place like swimwear, underwear, socks, then you can part compromise it, so that's nice. Now, opens up fully. Love it. Clamshell opening we've got here. Now, what we have is a towel. Then we have lifters, so shoes here for the gym. I have some straps, grips, got a skipping rope. I am not one for using the organization, as you can see. That would be nice to organize that. If you are someone who is well organized, you could do that. You could place all your little things in there for the gym. I've got some tape for me thumbs, more tape. I've got some knee pads. Again, you could organize this really nicely, but I'm not an organizer. Then I have some chalk. I also have a lifting belt and also another kind of weight thing that is helpful. I have 2 water bottles, if you know, you know, one for pre-workout and one for drinking with. As mentioned, none on the outside, which is annoying. Now in here you do have a lot of space, which I love. You have a bit of organization here that you can use if you do prefer that, or you could just chuck everything in. Be careful again of what you are putting in these pockets because it does compress in. Inside you have more lip holes. If the 30 on the outside wasn't enough, you've got more on the inside. I don't use them at all, but they're there if you do. Then you have this little compartment, which again I don't really use, but if you did have more tech accessories that you wanted to place in there, then you could. Let's see, I found this laptop. It's my partner's old laptop. It's a 14-inch, what are you, MacBook. Never owned one, so this is handy to kind of show you. That fits in there nicely, as you can see. So you could place tech in there. If you had your own padding as well, then it'd be well secured. If you had any other tech, then you can place it in the back too. That just gives you a rough idea of that pocket. That's nice, or you could place notebooks, books, or anything in there as well. Plenty to fit in and plenty to play with. Now, as mentioned, I think the main steal for this bag is definitely its material, its longevity. I like the minimalness of it. It's definitely something that I can get on board with because I'm not really a lover of too much organization, as I am on repeat. Let me just pack this back up and get back to you. It's one of those ones that goes wider. Like it goes wider on the bottom, so it makes you feel like you've got more, and then you try to compress it in and you're like, no, I don't. It's a workout in itself. So, you know, packing this bag sometimes, so you can do a wee warm up with this backpack before you go into your real activities. Okay, now moving on to the back system that we have here, which is pretty basic to the point. There is sufficient padding on each point here. It's very hard, upright, prompting your posture. But in the back here, you do have your laptop compartment, which is really awkward to get to sometimes because you have to kind of flip your straps like so. What would have been nice maybe to have detachable straps, I don't know, because then you could shove them in the back and then use the pocket on the inside for your tech gear. I don't know, who am I? Now this opens up lovely, like on the side here. This is so thick and well padded, you could literally feel safe just shoving your laptop in there, no bother. This is a 12-inch. The space size, the space is just space. There is nothing like, no extra wee pockets or anything. I'm just gonna give you a measurement of the space. To the very, very top, yeah, I'd say a 15-inch max. And then across, about 10 inches. What are you, 14 inches? Do you fit fine? That fits grand as well, you can see. So a wee 15-inch would be grand too, if you have that. Then that just goes in the back, which is nice. And it's easy to get out through TSA security, or if you're working and you don't want to go through the main body of the bag. You have, as mentioned, this, which is the same material that runs onto the straps, quite sturdy. And on the straps, what do you have? More loopholes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on each side. Now, if you haven't seen my reviews, I really don't like when padding doesn't run up to the top here. And for this kind of bag, I would love to see load lifters just for comfortability, and also a sternum strap too, especially if you are using this for activities and you're weighting it, or you're running with it, or just day-to-day life. Then for a 26 litre, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but this can pack up quite heavy, as you've seen, near enough 6-7 kg. So that would be nice to have those to kind of range for your comfortability. These are adjustable as well. I do love a thumb hole here on the strap, so you can pull down and adjust. But that is something that is missing for me. But apart from that, this is really nice and fits well onto the back, which leads us very nicely into the fit check, comfortability, and how this feels on the female body. This is tough. This is how I like it to be, completely up pressed to my back. The straps are really thick. They can get really uncomfortable, like the rubbing, it's just not nice, especially if you are sweating. The sweat just runs off this kind of style of bag, like as in like just sweats down your back. It's not like soaking it in for you or anything, which I'm sure some people maybe appreciate. They are thick, they get a minute to get used to, They're quite durable. I just prefer it with a jacket on, which can get tough if it is kind of hot, especially with the material as well. This is what it looks like on me. For reference, I am 5'6". Yeah, I would just prefer load lifters or something like a sternum strap maybe to kind of give it a bit more comfortability. I think the rubbing just gets a bit annoying, and with the whole stopping of the padding here, I would have preferred that ran on a bit more, but this is what it's like with a top on like this. Then 99.9% of the time I am wearing a jacket, so it doesn't really bother me. It's just when without a jacket, then I feel it more without a jacket, whereas with a jacket, this is absolutely grand. Very comfortable because I've got the padding from my hoodie that I have on here. They curve really nice around the girls. I have no issues with that. They're just really thick, but thick and durable. And this is what it is like on me with a hoodie on. Okay, time for an airline test now. This is the representation of EasyJet. I'm looking at you, you're looking at me. I don't know if you're gonna fit as a personal item. If you didn't pack out that front pocket, you'd be absolutely grand. Now you could go ahead and risk it because it really just depends on the day or time, person, if they're gonna check it or not. If it's overly bulky, then they're gonna be like, ma'am, that does not fit as a personal item. Then you'd be all embarrassed because it doesn't fit. This is what's stopping it from fitting in, is this front pocket here. So if you didn't have that packed out, then it would be grand for EasyJet. But for a personal item, for a carry-on, you're grand. It's just the straps that are stuck. I always find when it comes out of that, because it's the wood, you get to see whether or not it is easy to clean or easy to clean and wipe down. As you can see, you probably have to put a bit of effort into just wiping this a bit more. So for the water test, as you can see, the water does run off this bag. It does hold for a minute, but it just dries a bit more easily. If it is military base, then they are making something that is water resistant for sure. They have to be, because I'm sure people will be running about in all kinds of weather. But you know that your belongings are safe, especially with the kind of external flaps here as well. For me, and where I'm living, I'm glad that they had this kind of material because it rains all the time. But just on those other moments, like your 100 lip holes, they're just going to take a minute to dry. But the main thing you want to know is your valuables safe in there. They're absolutely grand. Okay, time for some pros and cons. One thing I definitely love is the Velcro patch here. Now, you can go over to the website and pick some more for yourself, or if you have your own too. I have the tricolor one that I need to find and put onto this. I feel like it adds character to the bag, and you can just switch and change it about how you want. And yeah, just gives you a little personalization. Although I do see it through the eyes of CrossFit, which is great for a training bag. It is amazing for a gym bag. The chalk and everything is quite easy to wipe down. You can just chuck everything into this bag and open it up and have it there and accessible for the gym, even if it's just the gym, the normal gym, or for CrossFit as well. It is durable, has plenty of space, and the materials are great. But I also see why it is a fantastic travel backpack as well. Durable, again, easy to pack. It's something that is long lasting. Although the straps is something that I'd be wary about for long periods of time if you are wearing like a thinner one. But most of the time I am wearing a jacket, so that doesn't really apply to me. So I have to say overall, with the materials and the comfortability of it, it's definitely like an 8 out of 10. So some cons. One being the water bottle compartment. There isn't anything on the outside of the bag, or even on the inside, which I feel for like an active bag, whether it's military base, whether it's CrossFit base, whether it's travel base, whether it's hiking base, whatever it is, I feel like for this style of bag that they're implementing, there should be a water bottle compartment on the outside, especially if you are being active with this bag and you're dying of thirst. You really don't want to be going through the whole 20 gazillion compartments here. And also, they could argue that you have 1,000 lip holes here, so you could attach it to that, but Who really wants to be doing that? Another thing is just the zips can get stuck. The laptop compartment can be a bit of an inconvenience. Whilst they still can be a convenience for security and easy and quick access to it, it's not as quick as some other backpacks where you don't have to kind of fold the straps over. For travel purposes, maybe more anti-theft features, and it is quite a fluffy dust magnet. I can see that it really attracts that, and it is all over the bag. Overall, this backpack is made for lifetime. If you are a lover of organization, then you do have that. You also have the practicality of packing it up, the durability of it enduring every kind of adventure, and it is something that I would highly recommend for anyone who is into any sort of active sport. So that is the end of our review. We hope you enjoyed, and if you did, then why not consider joining the GBO community and hitting that subscribe button. If you do happen to have a wee gander over on their website, whether it is the EU website or the US website, we would be forever grateful if you could use the links below. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.